And after the passing, untimely passing of my father, so that's how I became a writer. And here I am.
From dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? What's going on? Back for a recap on this Wednesday. Let's talk about sex 2. Let's talk about sex 2. We'll come back to recap. Let's bring in Shan and Nick. One quick second, folks. What's going on, Shan?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Happy hump day.
Yes, it is hump day.
Behave yourself, Nick. Behave.
Good stuff.
It is hump day. It is. This is true.
So we're doing a recap of let's talk about sex 2. Last Sunday, checked the recap out with a friend of mine, and it was quite interesting, real interesting. So
really,
real interesting.
So what did you come up when you talking about when you reviewed the show?
Yeah.
So what did you come up with? Is he frozen again?
He might be frozen again. No, it's all good.
All these technical difficulties.
No,
you were
good.
frozen again. What happened?
I'm not sure. Everything should be good though.
Okay. Anyway, so what did you come up with from your recap or reviewing, or when you went back to do the replay?
I came up pretty much with men from Venus and women from Mars.
In what aspect?
I mean, we just have a totally different concept of sex, period. Totally different concept. Totally different thought process when it comes to sex. Men are speaking Portuguese, women are speaking English.
Do you think that
I think the men are speaking English and the women are speaking Portuguese, since it's it's part of the language of love, which we speak better than men.
No, they're speaking Dominican.
Oh, really?
Uh-oh.
Are we still having New York? Are we still having flashbacks from Brooklyn, Nick?
Look, let me just ask this.
Nick, was you being a hoe up there?
Let me just ask this.
No, answer the question. No, answer the question.
Let me ask this.
No, you can't. You got to answer the question.
No, I was being a complete gentleman.
No, you
weren't. You could be a gentleman and a hoe at the same time, right?
Oh, well, some people know better than others on this podcast, but I'm not going to say no names. I'm not going to say no names, but some people know better than others.
I get the idea that men, the Mars versus Venus thing, but do you think also too people's first introduction to sex plays a huge influence on how they
Absolutely. Oh my God, that is a very, very good point. Absolutely. So whether it's a traumatic thing or whether it's a really wonderful experience.
So if you don't mind me asking, Shan, you don't have to get into the meat and potatoes detail of it, but what was your first introduction to sex? Just ask.
We are not going to talk about that one.
Wait a minute. You're going to come on the platform here. Okay, I respect that.
Good evening, Mark. Thanks for joining us.
I respect that.
What up, Slash? What up,
Why
Slash?
Why am I Charlie Swirl tonight, Mark? I thought I was the cookie lady. Now I'm Lady, a.k.a. Charlie.
No, you backtracking. You backtracking today. But no, the reason why I do say that, how much like love and how that people go off of what they model. And so like people's introduction to sex is just how what their first ideas of it. And here's the reason why I say that. Because
didn't you say that you introduced to sex by porno books?
Yep. So
you thinking you Ron Mexico out here?
Absolutely. That was my introduction to it. And so
wait, I missed that. By what?
By porno. That was
by porno.
Yeah. And so what I don't think people really understand is like kind of like what I was talking about last time, of like when we get to really talking about sex and like how long is it supposed to last, the frequency, even if you look at genitalia sizes, men's sizes, women's sizes, I think there's so much misinformation that's out here that
correct. For the audience, let's be clear. Watching porno does not contribute to or equal to a great sex life.
Correct.
That shit is embellished like a motherfucker.
This is true.
Don't be thinking you can do what they be doing in the pornos when you come home.
Correct. But there are a lot of people who think that is the case because maybe in so many ways that it is exciting. Maybe in so many ways it introduces something new. Maybe for whatever reason, but there are a lot of people who I've personally known. Let me reiterate that. There are a lot of people who I've known who base their value off of good sex off of porno. If you're not fucking like a porn star, then it doesn't work for them. And I'll go ahead.
Yeah, but I mean, different women love different things, and
all right.
Let's get down to the trauma of it all. I love that word.
That is the word, isn't it?
When let's just say if a woman or a man or a male has actually experienced rape or some type of violation toward them, they're all mixed up. They're all confused about what real love is supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
Or what sex is supposed to feel like.
Yeah.
Sex and love is not supposed to hurt.
This is true.
But I noticed, and I've been with a few of them that had those past experiences, women that had those past experiences as far as being raped and stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
And
yeah.
They tend to they're not acceptable or not welcoming to a soft touch, a gentle touch, a kiss to the forehead after making love. That's foreign to them.
Yeah.
That's foreign. There's two totally different situations there. And you have to be a real man to actually notice and communicate with that woman and know her past traumas and her past experience, how to deal with that woman. Because you're the driver of the car. In the bed, you're the driver of the car.
Yep.
Men don't realize that. Women do not drive that car because 9 times out of 10, half of women have had those type of traumas as children, young girls.
Yeah.
Especially the African community.
Yeah.
Let's just be fair about it. So men have to actually know how to drive their vehicle. So you can't get up there and just beat it up for 20 minutes and say, oh, I done killed it. Now you probably made her remember her trauma. Get out of here.
Yeah.
You got to be gentle. You have to be gentle. You have to know when to be gentle. You have to know when to be stern. You have to know when to be hard.
Right.
You got to know when to be a rough rider.
Exactly. It takes communication to actually know that woman and get inside that woman and really get inside that woman. Not just penetration, really get inside. The penetration is supposed to start during the communication.
Yeah. Yeah. Brother Trent, I completely agree. I think there is just so much, and my heart goes out to those who've been violated. And
exactly.
It alters their world. And how
exactly. And the reason why I write these types, I tell my friend all the time. She's like, why'd you write it like that? Why'd you say it like this? Why'd you say it? Those are target words I use to just draw people in. Wow. Let's talk about sex. Everybody thinking we're going to talk, we're about to get nasty. We're going to talk about this trauma.
Mm-hmm.
We'll talk about the proper way to let's talk about sex, the proper way to get into love making, the proper way to touch that woman, the proper way.
Okay.
So that, and I think addressing, and I think that there just isn't enough conversations. And when I do say conversations, not just there's a lot of conversations on, that you see in other TV shows and stuff like that that really talks about, oh my gosh, the frequency, or is this person long enough, but But when you think about it, but when you really think about it, getting to the aspect of like Brother Trent said, we have to start with what was your introduction to it. And when you understand someone's introduction to it and see how that has shaped how their reality, if they haven't unlearned it, it's very key. Because like I said, some people grow up thinking that they're model for sex, and then some of it is on parents too. Of teaching, and it may sound very just, and I can only imagine from a parent how it could be teaching.
Well, let's on a lighter note. You want to talk? Let me talk about my first encounter with sex.
Okay.
I was about 12. I never forget this. I was about maybe 12, something like 11, 12, something like that.
Damn.
Hook up with the girl, whatever. And
11 or 12?
Yeah, about 12, something like that.
I have a 12-year-old. Oh my God, I could not imagine.
Yeah.
Hey,
but it's men, Shan, and I'm gonna get into that when Brother Trent gets up.
So, I like this girl from school and whatnot. And back in the days, like when you have the exams and all that stuff, you get half a day. So I got the half a day going on, and we had planned this. Her mom's gonna be at work. Nobody's at my house, but to get to her house. So walked her from school, walked home.
You did not.
Did I? So I think I'm ready to go out and talk to my brothers. I was like, man, she's inviting me over. What should I do? So Greg,
they were helping you.
Greg said, yeah, he's just telling me what to do. Just take your time with it. And, just go and just take your time with it. It's good. You don't want her that she's a virgin.
All y'all little nasty asses.
So I'm getting in it. At this time, I'm very young. I didn't have any pubic hair at that time. I didn't have no hair growth, nothing down there. Nothing was going on. But she was hair as a barracuda. In my mind, I'm thinking she giving me crabs on instant penetration. So I'm calling my brother up. I'm like, bro, I said, I'm burning down here, man. So I'm calling him. Like, you need to come home because I think I just got the crabs, man. He said, when did you do? I said, I just did. I ran home. Like, I literally ran home. Like, she lived right up the block from me. So I'm telling him, it's like, Greg, you need to come home now, man, because I think this girl to give me crabs. He said, man, you can get grabbed that quick. I said, man, I think I got crabs. You need to come home quick. I'm talking about like when you're freshly shaven and get something like she had to scratch me up like a fucking barracuda. I'm like, oh my God, I'm dying. So he comes, he bring the alcohol and all that. He went to the bathroom. My brother Greg. He's rubbing me down there, right? And I'm like, shit, it's burning now. I said, man, she not only give me crap, but she didn't give me the claps. So he's like, man, he just got me.
The virgin that gave you crabs.
That's what I thought. That's what you thought. That the immaturity in myself. That's been my first time having sex. So come to find out, the girl was freshly shaven, and that was her hair growth going back, and she kind of scratched me up a little bit. So Greg was like, man, you don't have no crabs. Her hair was just growing back. I mean, scratch everything up down there. I had to scratch the head up and everything, trying to get it in. Everything. But I'm thinking she'd have gave me, but that goes in experience, jumping in something I shouldn't have been in. Yeah. So my brother had to tell me, man, you didn't get no crabs, you didn't get no claps, none of that.
That's what your little horny ass get for doing something at 12 years old that she didn't have no business doing.
But
she kept a little pecker in your pants because it couldn't have been more than like a 4-inch worm or something.
But Shan, you 12 years old. But you gotta look at it too as men, especially, and this is the reason why I say there's trauma, especially with younger.
Damn right, that was trauma because all my hair was charred up.
No, because I go back to I said that what was taught to us when we were young, and there's this pressure of manhood of the more, and it goes back to a conversation we had last time when there is the quote unquote the manhood code is the quantity aspect of it, right? Especially when we're really young, and I say you're really young doesn't really have age; it's more of the mindset. Right?
We'll acknowledge these folks in the comments.
Yeah, I'm about to say, let's go back. First of all, let me say thank you for my props, Mark. But I didn't understand the whole swirl. I don't know why we had to do the swirl thing.
But you're backtracking.
What up? What
you see what he said about the porn, though?
What up, Drew? What up, Drew? Hey, Donna. What's up, Pooh Face? Yeah, it was actually 12, sister. It was Will 12. Andrew,
you talking about here with little. Who was shaving their coochie at 12?
I don't know. Well, maybe it was new growth. I don't know. Maybe, hey, Drew was in my childhood friend. He know the girl who actually did that to me too. What up, Drew?
Oh my God! Wait, who is Drew? We need him to tell us. We need him to tell us the story.
Mr. Cootie, right there. Cooty.
Oh Lord, yeah, you gotta tell us. You gotta tell us the story. Evening, Mr. White. Thanks for logging on and chatting with us tonight.
Yeah, but that was a whole experience for me, man. I'm thinking I'm going to knock this out the park.
So wait a minute. So wait. You really thought at 12 years old you were gonna knock something out the park?
I've always had that confidence as a young boy. I still had that confidence.
Oh God!
I mean, I got in the door. At least I got in the door at 12. I got in the door when I.
So wait. So did you finish, or did you just get up and run out?
I thought I finished. I thought I did, but
you don't even know if you finished.
The tip was hurting too bad for me to even try to finish it. I didn't even care about doing it. She scarred me up that quick. I mean, it was bad.
Scarred for life.
Oh my God.
So I'm like, yeah, I'm thinking the girl didn't give me crabs.
What tribe that was she from? Her hair was like that bristly that it was scarring you up.
She was a virgin, so it was kind of hard to get it in there. Plus, the new, I guess I'm gonna call it new growth, the new growth hair coming down, and she was a virgin. So it was kind of hard to break that egg. I'm sorry.
And so, okay, so you don't know if you finished, so you didn't finish.
I don't even, because I was 12 years old, so I don't know if I
doing some shit you didn't have no business doing.
But Shan,
now would you want? No. I'm tired of this double standard where it's okay to tell boys go out there and get your conquest and do all this, but they doing it with somebody's daughters, right? Trent, you have daughters. I certainly have daughters.
Yeah,
like,
but she was a willing participant. Man. Let's say she was a willing participant.
Out here acting crazy.
But
she was a willing participant, and actually, it was her idea. It was her. She was a little fast girl.
Oh, the little fast tail hoish girls. Oh my God! So you was messing with a hoe at 12? You didn't even have. Hold on, Nick. You didn't have no standards at 12.
Romello had a conversation with everybody.
Romello was there at 12.
Was he there?
Oh Lord! You was just
at 12. Women still love me. The girls still love me. They love me. They love me. So I had to oblige them. Hey, the comment section going off in here.
Oh my God, new growth.
Mark says, sound like a very young Miss Purdy.
Oh my God. But Shan, I agree with you that there is a double. I know we.
Donna's acting. How old was she? I think she was around. Maybe she was 12. I think maybe she might be been 14.
Woo! So
it was in between.
So she was being a cougar.
I'm gonna say this before we.
I was trying to give it to her like a lion too.
Oh my God. Let me say this before we get on break because I know it's 20 after. But
I'm sorry, Nick make his point.
Shan, I agree with you that there is a double standard between men get this badge of honor, especially young men, young boys get this badge of honor when we're going on our conquest, as so to speak. But when it comes to women, they're fast, they're hoes, they're this and they're that. And it's like, right. Whereas with men, we get the badge of honor. Like, this is what we consider as man, like being indoctrinated into manhood.
Yep.
And so, yeah, it goes back to the trauma, though. It goes back
exactly. To we'll take a break and come back and address all those things. We'll take a break real quick.
Because you next. You got to tell your story.
We'll be right back.
I'm not telling this story.
We'll be back right after break, folks.
Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Trent. We will be right back with more conversation after these commercial breaks. Thanks for tuning in to Conversations with Trent. We will be right back with more conversation after these commercial breaks.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. Chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The Four Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Welcome back to Conversations with Trent. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're online and want to be a part of tonight's topic, you can do that by dialing 347-324-5327. Press the number 1 to get into the queue so that your voice can be added to tonight's conversation. Now, let's get back to the show.
We're back.
Oop.
What's going on, Sharon?
Right.
Now, pop me in the act.
Let's
continue talking. I'll be done in a minute.
You'll be done in a minute. But let's get back to this whole sex thing. Let's talk about switching it up. What about let's talk about when she isn't pleased. What do you, Nick, as a man, if she's not pleased and she tells you she's not into your size? How do you switch that up? How do you work that out?
What I've learned over the years is you have to be okay with that. Just as you have to be accepting of that. So for me, it's not an ego thing. Just as I understand there are certain women that work well with me, and there are certain women that don't work well with me. It's also accepting for me that I accept the fact that my penis size may be for some women. My penis size may not be for certain women, and that's okay.
Yeah, but how do you make the proper adjustment? You're really into this woman, so how do you, as a man, how do you please this woman? Is she telling you, "Hey, you're just not hitting that mark, Nick? I'm there, but I'm not quite there." So what do you do to readjust it?
Well, I would tune into her, right? I think for me it would be tuning into her, and I would say, okay, well, if this area is not working for you, what else would work for you? And I can give some suggestions and things like that, but I can only be curious because I can only go off of the things that that she would tell me. And again, I keep it in my mind that if you are the master of your body, that you should, right? So at least I say that for me, right? Mm-hmm. But I can't expect that for everybody. So it will be a conversation. And whatever we arrive at from that conversation, we go out from there. But my ego wouldn't get hurt, none of that, because I want to understand that the penis size may work for some women, and for some women it may not, and that's okay.
Okay. Just a sidebar, Mark. No, it wasn't the swirling process. Thank you very much. I see your comment there. But Mr. White asked Nick, would you introduce toys into the mix to help satisfy your partner?
If she is into it, that's why I say if she is into that, that's why I say I would have a conversation with her, and if she says, "Hey, would you be open to trying this?" Cool. So it would really be around a conversation with her, because how else am I going to know?
So I have a question, I guess, because this is more for the men anyway, and since we have some male viewers tonight, Mr. Williams, aka Romello, has anybody ever told you guys that your size was an issue, was a non-pleasing issue for them?
No.
And joking one time.
And joking,
but no, I mean, I've never no one's ever told me that. But has a woman ever told? I've had women tell me they've had bigger.
Okay, but so let's say instead of just trust the process, Good evening, Mr. Thomas. Welcome to the show. So so let's leave just the specificness of size out of it. Has a woman ever told any of you gentlemen, not yet, Mr. White? Okay. that you weren't satisfying them, that they needed something more or something done a little differently? Have they ever tried
I've had a woman tell me that before.
Yes.
They needed something different to mix it up and change it up. But that's when you got to do it on the fly.
Correct.
Okay.
This is where communication comes in at. This is why I said last time, communication is the biggest component of it, right?
So what is it, Nick? What if she actually do that right in the middle of it?
I mean, then if she does it right in the middle of it, then I'm going to something else.
How do you stop the
do you like stop in mid-stroke?
Not in mid-stroke. Stop. No.
Like, okay, she said that ain't working. Let me do this.
No. I'm not going to get into direct specifics around what I would do.
Why not? We're all grown folks here, Nick. We can handle it.
No, Shan, because I'm trying to tell you about yours, and you skirting around the bushes around there. I will just say that for me, communication is everything, and there's nonverbal communication and there's verbal communication. And as long as the communication is open and the communication is open around what someone says, what they said, hey, I like when you do this, but it would be better if I do this. Cool.
To avoid those, and to avoid those being in those type of situations, you have to have open communication. You have to have it.
I just want to ask, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but before we move too far, Donna, if you're still on here, have you ever had to tell a man that something wasn't pleasing you? I'm going to be honest, I have. Absolutely. We're not going to continue this if you can't get it right. I'm just going to say that.
But
Donna, let me know if you're still on here, if you've had to.
So let me ask you this. What if, because one of the things that and it goes back to like conversation we had last time around, I think there's so much around the size that men to a degree feel this pressure. They feel even traumatized when it comes to women because a lot of times, the people say if the size is this, and then the men are just like, well, shit, and am I the right? No, I'm only speaking on Shan. Hold on before you.
Okay, I get it, but let me just say this: size. I'm gonna say this: size does matter. It does. People want to talk about it's always the motion in the ocean. It is, and it's like you don't have to have a 12, 13-inch penis size. You don't. But it's like size does matter because women are built differently, right? Every woman's canal is different. I've got a friend that she don't mess with nobody that ain't got at least 11 inches on them.
Wait, time out.
Because she's a very tall female, and she don't mess with men who don't, and she will measure this stuff. Yes.
Time out. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What's the average size of a penis? What's the average penis size of a man?
What's the average size that I will accept?
No. What's the average penis size of a man?
Oh, I don't even know.
That's my point.
I don't know what the average size is.
Hold on a second. Nick, you going around here reading books to see what the average size is?
No.
Well, what is it?
No, because this is what I'm saying. Some women will say they want men that are this, but they don't. It's almost like the height requirement in a man.
Well, hold on a second though. Let's get back to you asking what's the average size of a dick is. Like, what man would even give a fuck about what the average size of a dick is?
Oh, but wait a minute. Okay, I get that, but wait, let me finish my point before I forget it. So, size does matter, but when you were talking about being large, that doesn't mean anything. Now, I was with I dated whatever.
Wait,
I gotta say it. I've dated someone who was extremely large.
Right.
He didn't know what the hell to do with that shit.
Correct.
And it was horrible. So size matters to a certain extent. You don't want it too small, but and if it is big, you need to know what the hell to do with it. Because honestly, I'm gonna be honest, people do get injured having sex. And I'll be transparent. I have been there. I have been one of those people.
Right. This is why I say studying human anatomy is important, because women, when you guys get aroused,
Don't forget the comments.
It goes between 5 inches and 6 inches, right? When you guys get aroused, right? Mm-hmm. So if the
hold on 1 second. Alvin says it's not big or small; it's how you use it. He's absolutely right. He's absolutely right.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. It may not, even if it's not long. There's girth. There's a lot to be said for girth to be able to fill up the canal. Correct. So in that instance, even if it's not completely long, if you got some girth and you filling up stuff and you hitting stuff, then that's still good. Mark, I don't know about somebody with no walls. I can't help you with that.
But it goes back to what I said about human anatomy, right?
Shut up, Mark. Talking about sex sent me to the ER. Yes, it did. But leave me alone and stay out my business.
But it goes back to what I said about human anatomy and
yes, I'm sorry.
And understanding human anatomy, right, for men and women, right? Because a lot of times and the reason why I say that is because it's very similar to when I ask women, do you know the average height of a man, right?
Yeah, I'm kind of.
But it gets back to my point because some women will want all of this, but there's only a smaller percentage of men who is that, right? So what I go back into is that women shaming average men when you don't even know what the fuck average is. Hello.
Nick, is this some personal trauma you've experienced?
No. But what it is that I hear women will say things like this, and I'm like, and then when you call them out with data and statistics, when you call them out on that, and it's just kind
I'm gonna have to be honest with you.
I've never said anything about average. I don't know average. I don't know. I just know what I like when I get it.
Wait a second. I've never, and in my years of humping around, I have never pulled out a stat sheet and said, you know the average size of a dick. I wasn't interested in that. I was interested in that stat.
I get what you're saying.
I wasn't interested in what was her opinion on. Yeah, I didn't care because I knew my ability. I knew what I was. I knew the pleasure. I knew the pleasure I was about to bring to her.
Right. So, but what I'm also saying too is that there are some women who don't understand basic human anatomy. That's all that I'm saying.
No, I get it. So that's where we differ. I'm not about to debate with a woman about talking about the average size of a man because we're not about to talk. I'm trying to get this ass. We're not talking. We ain't doing no talking. We're not doing no talking.
Brother Trent is like that.
Yeah, we're not. I'm not trying to break it down and trying to explain why I don't have a bigger dick than our last boy.
No. Okay. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
I'm trying to get this ass.
This is what I say. Every woman and man have what they like and what feels comfortable for them and what doesn't feel comfortable for them. We agree with that.
Mark, be nice.
What I'm saying is that when I hear a lot of times when I hear some women that will say remarks to that,
9 times out of 10, if a woman is saying that after she has been involved with you like that, 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna get that pussy again. If she going to measure you up to the next man, she's not gonna give it to you again, or if she was thinking about it, it's not gonna happen.
Correct. But what all I'm saying is that I don't think a lot of people really, and this goes back to sex education. I don't think a lot of people understand, and this is why I say that how we were introduced to sex, right? And I'm not saying you have to take a sex ed course or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. What I am saying is that understanding the human anatomy is a very essential aspect of sex education. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I get that, but the average guy.
I really feel like there's some underlying trauma underneath all of that.
I'm not looking for no book when I'm trying to get her in my bed. I'm not looking for the book when I'm trying to get in my bed.
I put my hand on the Bible. The only reason why I said it is because it's no different than the height requirement that some women say that they want in men. And I'm like, okay, you want a guy that's 6'2", but do you understand? And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But do you know the percentage of men who are over 6'2", right? It's not.
Yeah, but you have to be the type of man.
It's not as common as you see a guy that's maybe 5'9", 5'10".
Exactly. But you have to be the type of man to break requirements. height requirements, all that shit. Height requirements or the side requirements. I'm an average breaker. I don't like to be
took their confidence pill tonight.
I don't like to be categorized. There's nothing average about Trent.
But this is what I will say. I'll speak for me, and I'll say that and it goes back to what Trent said to you, Shan, about height requirements, right? A couple conversations we had, and it kind of relates to me. I say it relates to me with sex, and when you're attracted to someone, how they are. I
see his slash.
How they are, their body, and when you are attracted to someone, you're physically attracted to them, whether they're this or that. That stuff don't really matter. I hear women say, "I want these big titties and I want a big." Men, no, we don't care about that. If we find you attractive enough, we don't care about that.
We gotta get to these comments. These folks in these comments. Mark says that analytics work in business and sports. Not sure if it works at the sweat hotel.
Hey, but did you see the other talk about bro Nick is gonna play smart brother and undercover brother too?
No, but seriously
though, so disrespectful.
But that is true when it comes back to sex education and things like that. Because we do have to look at. All I'm saying is that human anatomy plays a part in it. That's all I'm saying.
But when you're in the thick of things, let's just say I'm talking about sex with the woman.
Right.
We're getting ready right before sex and all this other stuff. I'm not about to try to negotiate size.
No.
None of it. I'm not. Less talking is possible.
Yes, I agree.
Less talking, more licking. Less talking, more licking.
Oh, yes.
I agree with you. So Shane, let me ask you this. How do some women feel? Because I hear some women say because men want women with a big titties and round ass and go get these injections done and things like that. How do you think? Let me see if I can word this correctly. Do you feel like that in the same vein of how men feel about? Some men may feel about it. Do you think women feel that about themselves as well too?
About themselves, that they need to that they need to have those things to attract a man?
Yeah,
I think some women do. That's why you have so many women running around here with all this fakeness, right? Whether it's ass, lips, cheeks, butt cheeks, whatever it may be. There are some women who just want to look better and feel better about themselves. But, I think to a certain degree that all stems from how you view yourself. And that's a whole different level of trauma stuff and all that kind of stuff. So, yes, I do think so. I think, we're more pressed. I think.
Let's get back to the book.
Wait a minute.
I'm going there, Shan, because
I'm a mature woman. I need to finish the thought before I forget.
Yeah.
So rude. Just so rude on the platform tonight, Mr. Williams.
And the reason
12-year-old hoe. That's what we need to call you.
And Shan, the reason I say that, Shan, is because I was with someone, and in her mind, she dealt with guys who looked at her as she had to be this, she had to be this. And when we got together, because I wasn't this way, it was a little foreign to her, right? Yeah. Like I explained to her, like when you're physically attracted to somebody, that stuff that's not in our mind. It's not in my mind. Because if I'm physically attracted to you, I'm not worried about how much ass you have, how much titties you have, or things like that, right? Then now what I'm saying, I'm not saying that I would date somebody who has a flat chest like mine, but what I'm also saying too is that it's not as a big factor as what some people make it out to be, is what I'm saying. And so there are a lot of people who struggle with it. Like I was with her and she struggled with it. And where me, I'm like, okay, this is just who I am. I'm very confident, right? And I understand my body is for some people and it's not for some people, and that's okay. But for her, it was different.
Yeah, my apologies, Mr. Williams, for forcing that in there, sir. Sorry.
No,
Good evening, Gentle John. He's Mr. Al, your brother's on here.
Oh yeah, I've seen him in there.
He says having sex is not supposed to hurt you. You and your partner are supposed to enjoy it together. Yes,
Absolutely.
Sometimes it can hurt you, and yes, Mark, sex can send you to the ER.
It's called killing them softly. But yeah, but let's get back to this whole thing. So let's get back to this thing. If she's not pleasing, how do you make the adjustments, Nick? Like, how do you make the proper adjustments?
You have to communicate it. And if she says hey, I like it when you do this, but what really turns me on is when you do this, right? Or she may not even have to say a word. She may put me in an area of where I'm supposed to go.
Exactly.
So it's communication, nonverbal and verbal.
That goes back to my point of when I said on previous podcast, and I've been writing about this for years. Making love starts in the mind. Making love starts when the initial contact, communication, everything. When you finally meet, touching is just a formality. That's it. Mm-hmm. That I've already made love to you. Mm-hmm. I've already had you before you got on that plane. So once you're here with me, it's a wrap. It's done. I'm gonna put you to sleep.
Oh, so you didn't put him on the Greyhound bus?
I'm sorry.
You didn't put him on the Greyhound bus, right?
No, I put him on Delta flights.
That's what Mark said.
Hey Mark, I put him on Delta flights.
But no, it's one of those things that, like, when it comes to it,
but that's what's supposed. And here's the thing, though, like with women, and women want you to want men to take the lead. So the love making starts from the conversation. Mm-hmm. So once you encounter that woman, once that woman is in your presence, the reason why she can rest peacefully and feel protected and everything else in between, because she's still thinking about that mind fuck from months ago.
Yeah.
After you didn't touch her, physically touch her, she's still laying there in comfort, thinking about what Trent has done and said to her.
Yeah.
That's why she's comfortable. That's why she's comfortable. That's what guys have to understand that. You can't just go in there with 15 inches of dick thinking that you're just gonna cause all kind of damage.
Correct.
Nobody worry about that, man.
So Nick, what were you getting ready to say?
Dang, I forgot what I was getting ready to say.
I'm sorry, Shannon. Did you cut me?
No, you're good.
No, you cut Nick off.
No, you're good. You're good. I want to say
we were trying to hear his statement.
It's all good. It's one of those things, like, when it comes to, like,
he ain't gonna say nothing because he won't going up his door.
It's communication. Like, communication is literally everything. And I think even when having difficult conversations, I think there's a way that you can tailor that communication that still fosters that intimacy, right? Because at the end of the day, you want to work with your partner, and you're gonna not work against them.
Okay.
Mark's coming up with a great. This is an epic comment right here. Some brothers have all the practices down and all the audibles and protection schemes, but can't execute the plays, especially on the fly. You got to be like Peyton Manning out there. Omaha, Nebraska. You got
Alabama 1-2.
You got the great 3-4. Omaha. Oh, she wants you to lick the clip. You got to go for it. You got to go get it.
But I also.
You got to go get it.
Right, but that also.
You can't cheat. That woman not gonna want to hear you say in the middle of she hot and bothered. When she asks you, okay, get to the clip, and then you trying to figure out that. Let me get this book.
Oh my God!
She's not gonna go for it.
This is true.
She's not gonna go for it. And I'm talking to everybody. I'm talking to all these guys the guys that say, oh, they don't eat the groceries. That woman say eat them groceries. I'm grabbing all the grocery bags.
Is that what y'all call it?
I don't know what they call it. That's what those kids call it.
I don't do that.
But I'll figure it out. I will figure it out. If she in the bed with me, I'm gonna figure it out.
But see,
I'm gonna figure it out.
But I also think that it's also
see what you just said, Nick. See what you just said. You said, "Oh, I'm not gonna do it." So you mean to tell me you're gonna pass up on the Twizzard?
Hold on, no. You talking about eating the booty, right? You talking about eating the groceries, right?
That's what they say. If the woman is into you, Nick, if the woman is into you and you got to that point and you're in the bed with her, you telling me you will call a timeout and say, hey, baby, wait a minute, I can't do this.
So Nick, wait a minute, stop. Nick, stop. So Nick, you don't eat ass?
No, at all. No.
Nick, let me tell you something, Nick. Every woman that listening to you right now saying, Nick, you ain't getting no more pussy. And every woman that started this conversation.
And you know what? I will be all right with that. Here's the reason.
And listen, that's what I'm saying. Let's go back to the adjusting, making audibles, just like Mark was talking about. You have to make an audible, man. If that woman is hot and bothered, if she's ready to go, she's piping hot. You got to do everything to please the woman. You done talked all that shit to get her to the bed. Now you're gonna leave that woman with a wet ass? Oh man, come on.
I'll tell her get some baby wipes or something to clean that shit up.
Like, okay, so
I think what people
the views of Nick, the views of Nick does not apply to Trent Williams in the conversation.
But regardless of, but this is one thing.
So you're saying, Nick, you'll stop in the middle of it? That's what you're saying?
I eat the pussy. I've done that before. Many times. I eat the pussy now. But I ain't, and I've done many things in there with the pussy. Eating the ass, I couldn't.
Why? Have you had your ass eaten?
No. Oh my gosh, no.
That's the reason you haven't had yours done. So that's why you don't.
But here's my thing, though.
Hold on. Wait a minute. So you don't do anal either?
No, I don't do anal. No.
Interesting. Okay.
So what people have to understand is they're with two people. No matter how
Taco Tuesday.
No matter how open somebody may be, people still have long lines around things that they just won't do, right? And that's okay. That's okay. That is.
I cannot believe. Like man will not leave pussy on the table. No man will leave that on the table.
Shit, I'll leave that junk on the table and. Out.
Okay, so I'm gonna have a moment of transparency here. Okay, when you talk about never say, remember we talked about never say never, and I remember I was all of about 16 years old. I was in the kitchen. I can still see to this day in the kitchen with my dad. Now my dad back in his day, that was Pretty Ricky. Pretty Ricky, the girls like Pretty Ricky, so he was good to go. And I remember I had gotten off the phone from talking to one of my girlfriends, and I was telling my dad, we were talking about something, but somehow we got on the subject. We were talking about sex, and I was telling him about how some girl was giving somebody head and blowjobs and stuff like this. And I was just like, I would never do that. Never. And my daddy looked at me. He said, don't say what you ain't never gonna do. And he was right. Because 16-year-old Shannon is very different from blah, 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 blah years old Shannon.
Correct. You didn't say blah, blah, blah.
I'm just saying that. So, I'm just saying, hush, Mark. I'm just saying, you can't, it's like, don't ever say never. Now, you just never know what may happen.
I'm almost saying never. I'm not going to never get up and walk away from a woman.
Mr. Williams.
Go ahead.
It's just being so rude tonight.
My apologies.
Good Lord. God, I don't even know what I was saying now.
You were saying that never say never.
Yes, the never say never stuff. You just never know how you gonna feel in another 20 years about some physical stuff.
Right. But Shan, let me say this. I'll say that I'll say this. I would say I'm a pretty open fella, right? Like
I thought I was too. I thought I was pretty open at 25 and 35.
Right. But even being an open fella, there's still some things that I'm just kind of like, it just doesn't tickle my fancy. Okay. Even with two things can be true. You can still be an open person in that regard and still be like,
Nick, let me just tell you this. You just ain't had the right one turn your little young ass out. I'm just gonna say, yep. Let's just leave it at that. You just ain't come across the right one to turn you out. I'm sorry, Mr. Williams. You can come out of timeout now. What were you going to say?
Come out of timeout. Hey, Nick, you see how I listen to this woman? You see how I listen to her? I talk when she say talk. I sit back and sit right. And guess what? Let me leave that alone. But I talk when she say talk. Sometimes you gotta listen to them.
Men have learned a lot if they listen to women.
I'm sorry, Shannon. May I speak now?
Yes, you may.
When you were saying something about ain't never, I ain't gonna never turn no pussy down like that. In the middle of hotness, I'm not gonna I can say never turn it down. Never. If she hot and ready, I ain't turning it down.
So let me ask you, how would you feel? Okay, how would you feel then if your woman who you with, and if y'all are doing it, and then she says, "Oh, I'm," and you know that she's open doing a lot of things, but she says she's not open doing this one thing. How would you react to that?
You say she's not open. We're gonna talk about it. Yeah. We'll talk about it, and then I'm talking
about in the moment. You gonna talk about it?
No, and I'll switch up the game. I do a paid man on her. I switch it up on her. But once you got a hot and bothered, she gonna open that mind up. Let me tell you something. Once that thing start flowing, that mind gonna be open to anything.
Okay, so hold on. Mark said, "Bro, Nick, your honeymoon might make or break you, bro." Well, Donna, what's your question, Donna? That could be. I'm just saying that Nick, you have a lot of absolutes for somebody who ain't lived but a fraction of a life.
It's not absolutes. I am a man who understands and is aware of the things that I'm open to and the things that I'm not.
But what I'm saying, the example is there were things that I was not open to at 25 and 35.
There's
completely different.
Is she talking about you, brother Trent? She talking about you? I'm assuming.
Yes. She's asking Trent that.
So you said you would never walk away from the cookie.
I never walk away from the cookie.
Y'all just eat anybody. So y'all
no, when I say wait, hold on. Hey, Donna, hold on. When I say walk away from the cookie,
to me.
Hold on a second. No, when I say walk away, I'm talking about in the middle of it. In the middle of doing it, and she say eat the groceries, and I'm not gonna say no, I ain't gonna do it. I'm gonna do audible. I'm gonna do a paid man. I'm gonna switch it up for her. If that's what she wants, I'm there to please.
So do you eat anybody's groceries?
No. Not at all. Not at all.
But what if it's a woman and she tells you to eat the groceries, but she don't see she not like water down there?
We're not gonna be in the bed if I even know her like that. If I don't know her like that, we're not even.
But you may not know that it's like that until you get in the bed and you get down there. So what you gonna do then?
Correct.
I'll finger till she pass out. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
so
the question.
But the thing, it's like I'm not talking about Don. I'm not talking about anybody's cookie. I'm talking about the woman that I'm with, and she just switch it up right away and say, "Let's try this. Let's eat the grocery." I'm not gonna tell her no. If I'm with her, I'm not gonna tell her no.
Oh, okay.
I'm not gonna tell her no. I'm not. I'd be a fool to do that. You tell just like Nick said. That's what I'm responding to. Nick saying he's not gonna do it.
So Nick,
let me ask you this, brother Trent.
She said, "Okay, ew."
Let's take sex outside of the equation. So you're telling me that you're with somebody. You're telling let's take sex out of the equation. You're telling me that you're gonna do any and everything with whoever that you're with, even if you don't like doing it.
I'm not saying that. We make adjustments.
If we're
in a long-term relationship, if we're in a long-term relationship, if we're committed to one another, you have to make the proper adjustments, man. You have to.
Correct.
You have to make the proper adjustments.
I'm with you there.
You can't just say no and it's just end the story. Then you go out there and really go out there and get a Johnny boy.
But what I'm saying is that if say for instance, let's again take sex out of the equation. Say for instance, the both of y'all go skiing together, y'all go snowboarding together, y'all do all these things as a couple, right? But you may not like bungee jumping, or she may like skydiving. So, and if she says, "Hey, would you go skydiving with me?" and you say, "Hey, I'm not really open to that," so you're saying you would go skydiving, even though you would say
you told you skydiving and jumping is two totally different things.
But the principle is the same, because the principle is that there are, even when people are open to things, there are certain things that they're not going to be open to, and that's okay. That's all that I'm saying.
That is okay. I will have to say that there are, skydiving, and I was skydiving, and bungee jumping, all this. Those are things that could kill me while we doing them.
Right.
But my whole point is
eating a little ass ain't gonna kill me.
You have to make the proper adjustment when you're in a committed relationship. When you're in a committed relationship, And if she brings that up like that, you have to make the proper adjustments. You have to. You can't just say, "Oh no, I'm not doing that." That's young. That's immature to say no. It's not going to happen. You have to make the proper adjustments. If you're in a long-term relationship, if you're in a committed relationship.
I will say that to answer the question you asked Trent before, so there were things that I did not necessarily like or really want to do in a relationship, and we're going back to the sexual stuff, but I was in a long-term relationship with someone. I trusted that person, and I was open because of how I felt about that, because of how we felt about each other in the relationship we had to try. And it just turned out that, okay, it wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but at least I tried in that sense. You know what I mean?
When you're in a committed
hold on, and understand you can't do everything with everybody.
Exactly. Correct. That's my point.
Right? You can't do everything with everybody.
Correct.
That's my point. But you have to be adults. You have to be adult. If you guys playing house, you're being committed to someone, you have to be open. You have to be open. I'm not talking about this crazy type stuff, all the stuff you're seeing on social media. I'm talking about when you're a committed relationship.
I'm glad you brought that up, because what if somebody said that? Well, okay, prime example. What if the person that you're with and you're in a committed relationship and that may not be your thing, but that's her thing? How would you respond to that?
To what?
What you were saying, that the crazy stuff people see on social media, right?
It won't happen because she know me. She not
right. No. Stay with me though.
She won't even fix them out to even say it. But go ahead.
But stay with me though. If she said that this is what I am open to, right? But you're not open to this, how are you then going to respond to that?
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Period. Not some off the wall stuff. It's not going to happen. I can guarantee you that.
Okay. So that Zulu tape thing ain't gonna happen.
Ain't gonna happen. Not at all. That won't happen. Period.
Look, Mark said, bro Nick on that Bobby Caldwell. What you won't do for love.
Man, I love y'all. For real, I love y'all, man. Like I
We ain't tried everything, Mark. That's the problem.
But I say that because, like I said, some let me just say this. I'm not gonna put names out here, but I know some friends of mine who are open. The man is open to that regard, but the woman is not open into that regard, right?
Yeah, you have to be mature enough. And honestly, it depends on what type of toxic stuff you're willing to allow into your relationship. Me, on the other hand, I'm not willing to even allow that.
Right.
So you have to be. I know that I'm mature enough to tell her hell no. Until it's not gonna.
Perhaps some of y'all haven't earned all their food badges from the Scouts, or is it brownies?
Or the brownies?
That was Mark. I know that was Mark. Huh?
Yes, it was. Okay, so I'm gonna add. I since we're all grown and we're talking about sex, and Mr. Williams told us his title was The Ultimate Lover. What was your do you have a title, Nick?
The ultimate, I don't know if I have a title. It's just, for me, I will say, Brother Trent, I can relate to the story that you said at 12. Because when I was a senior in high school, when we had them half a day.
Damn, y'all was some hoish kids.
Okay. I'm gonna say as quick as I can, because after 8 o'clock. Okay. So this is my senior year in high school. And 2 weeks before graduation, right? Now I want to say it was real close. Yeah, 2 weeks before graduation, because seniors got let out a little bit early, right?
Right.
Had a half a day exam. So as a guy, you know what time it is when it's half a day, it's an exam, right? Sure enough, I drove to school that day. Well, no, first we were filming on each other in the library, right? So then I was like, I don't want to get caught. I don't want to get suspended because, I'm close to the finish line, right? So I said, okay. So this was it that day? Yes, it was that day. So it was that day. So then I said, well, hey, I didn't have to work that day. And I said, hey, are you going to be home later on today, right? She said, yes. I said, cool. You can ride with me. I drove here. We go down to the house and stuff like that, right? Sure enough, when that 2 o'clock bell rang, I looked for her in the hallway. She came right down with me. We drove to her house, and it was Monday Night Raw. That's all I'm saying. Monday Night Raw. That's all I'm gonna say.
Something?
When you said that, I related to that so much because I was like, dang, you were just younger. Now she wasn't. It wouldn't nothing hairy, nothing like where I was itching and shit down there.
Right.
But I will say that for a guy, I will say this. I've been whenever it gets to being sexual with people, I will say, hey, I'm a pretty open guy and I'm pretty open to whatever and things like that, right? Just explain to me. Explain. Yes.
Damn, Mark.
Yes, Mark. Yes, Monday Night Raw. Yes. So I'm a pretty open guy. And so what I say is that, just let me know what, communication. I always say I'm an open guy, but keep the communications open.
And that's why, let's get back to this. I always want to drive the point home of conversation, communication. That's why a man has to drive the conversation. He has to be the driver of the bus. He has to be. That's what there won't be any misconception. I mean, nothing misconstrued, anything. Everything is understood. When you come to my house, you know what's happening.
Right.
From everything, from dinner to everything, to sex to everything.
So what if this is not a relationship? What if it's just like one of those we hooking up type things? I met you.
Well, it's gonna be one of those. It's gonna be one of those 2:00 calls. Remember, we talked about the 2:00.
Yeah, I remember. What did you say? What's understood doesn't have to be explained.
Exactly.
It's understood, right? Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
But I will say, my forever love. If she's coming to see me, it's gonna be 5 days, 7 days, relaxation, conversating, dinner, redfish, everything.
What is this redfish y'all speak of?
Redfish is very, 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 very nice. The texture of the fish is a real good fish. Actually, I served that this past weekend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shan, I will say this. I had a thought too.
The Isley brothers keep it going.
But no, it is around. I know we're saying all this and stuff like that, but ultimately, what we're driving the points off of is really how big communication is during when you're intimate and having sex with someone.
Absolutely.
Right? Communication to me is what really just kind of makes or breaks things, and the willingness to communicate, the willingness to be open and honest around your desires and things like that, and understanding that, and just understanding that, right? And I think just that communication piece, and Brother Trent, like you said, we drive the shit. And I'm not gonna lie to you, a lot of times, like if I'm connecting with friends and we're just friends, I'll just ask them how do they view sex? What does sex mean to you? Right. Exactly. And because I think the topic is so taboo that people you can look at it from a religious aspect and things like that. It's a very taboo discussion, right? Mm-hmm. But I think the more that we get out of that taboo discussion and really talk open and honestly about our desires,
exactly,
and stuff like that, you'll be surprised how our guards get let down. This is my last thing, Shan. It's so funny because I hear guys, even my age, who will say that they will never lick the pussy, even at my age. And I said, you know what? You just ain't met the right one yet. Because I'm going to tell you what, you meet that right one, you're going to be down there with whipped cream, strawberries, chocolate.
Yeah, it's better with top. It's great. It's great on its own, but if you got toppings,
shit, having a pussy Sunday. I'm sorry, y'all. Oh, I'm sorry. I had a flashback. I'm sorry.
Are we back in Brooklyn, Dominicana? You with the was you Papi Solo? Was you the Papi Solo? Was you Papi Grande in Brooklyn?
I will say that there is.
You ain't listening to me.
When I will say is that I'm intentionally tuning you out. Like,
don't do that. Don't do that.
I will say that there is some truth to like when you meet the right one, because when you do meet the right one, the things that you don't think that you would do. When you will be, I would just say you'll be surprised.
Amen to that.
So, yes, thank you. And it's not so much about the turning you out, but it's when you meet that one person that you connect with like that, where that the love and all of that stuff, when it's that thing where it's like you're crazy, you're like crazy in love with somebody. Yes, you will do certain things. You can be a fool for love or crazy.
I can admit that I'm crazy in love.
So
y'all will never see it though. I'm crazy.
So y'all asked me about talking about me about why that y'all won't see whoever I may or may not be serial dating at the time, as y'all call it. Oh, so that sounds like something we might need to discuss on the next show, Mr. Williams.
Yeah,
you are a public figure. You know,
I never give her up. I never give her up. Privacy is the best policy.
This is true.
Mark has a comment.
Uh-oh.
He said, bro, Nick, we would have took you out of town to a show and got you a Fonzarelli and changed your life and fancy.
Exactly.
Wait, what's a Fonzarelli? What is that?
Huh. He would enjoy him. Let's just say he would have enjoyed himself. He'd have come to the show. You'd be like, can I finish two with y'all? I'll pick up the bags. I'll drive the bus.
Ooh, I'll drive the bus, but man, when she talking about picking up the groceries, yeah. Ooh.
Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, you'd have been the number one roadie out there, boy. You mean to tell me all I got to do is just stand next to y'all? You mean to tell me that's all I got to do? And she coming back to the hotel. Oh yeah,
man.
No, seriously, I say all this to say, but we say all this, but I think part of in the midst of entertainment and things like that, but in the midst of it, each of us, we value how important communication is in maintaining a healthy sex life. And there's so much around what is good and great, but what is healthy? How do we define health? How do we understand what healthy is, and how do we strive to get to healthy? And that right there, my friends, is I'll be running laps. I'm probably doing 6 miles off of that. I'm just saying.
All right. We'll be waiting to hear when you meet that one.
I think he's first, but I think he's first because he got this little pose.
Oh yeah, he is.
He's in deep thought and shit.
Yep.
No, but it is something said to, just being open, but also understanding, even with being open, understanding that sometimes your partner may not be as open to certain things, and that's okay. Out of 20 things, if a person is open to 17 or 18 things, why harp on the one little thing or two little things, right?
I think we're out of time here tonight.
Yeah.
But Mark has one last comment. You might need to read that because I can't understand that. Y'all have this language.
When Anna groupies would have gave Nick a thumbs up.
Probably when one of those groupies would have gave Nick a thumbs up between the sheets.
Y'all silly.
Hey, he's joking, but he's not really joking. Seriously.
Yeah.
Those were the days, man. You talking about the late 80s, going into the night. Those were the days.
This is the reason why I said we should always, and I do seriously say this. Please keep your body parts clean. I know, please keep it clean. I know we joking this, but please keep it clean.
It's a must. It's definitely a must. But it's 12 after the hour. Want to thank Tyson Bond for the sponsorship as always. Really appreciate you, Shannon. I really do. You have no idea.
My pleasure. This was a very interesting and informative show tonight. It really was. I've learned so much about the both of you.
It's all
leave it at that.
I learned that you backtrack, but it's all good. I still love you.
So until next week, until Sunday, we'll be back with another thought-provoking topic. Hopefully, we can come up with something good for you guys. Talk to you guys soon, man.
All right. Good night.
From dating to relationship, Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.